This bulletin is brought to you by Good Morning Pihalia. Enjoy the warmth and indulge in the deliciousness.
Good morning, good morning.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and oh boy, the phones in the Attorney General's chambers must have been ringing off the hook today as scores of leaders have joined the call for Attorney General Tommy Thomas to explain yesterday's acquittal of Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng. Lim was acquitted by the Penang High Court yesterday of 2 counts of corruption. One involved a bungalow which he had allegedly purchased below market value, and the other was involving land that was allegedly rezoned by him and then later acquired by a company where the director was the same person who sold Lim the previously mentioned bungalow. Yesterday, Tommy Thomas declined to comment on the matter. Today, we have Youth and Sports Minister Syed Saddiq Syed Abdul Rahman and PKR Vice President Tian Chua joining the call for Tommy to explain himself.
I don't think Saudara Lim Guan Eng have committed a serious offence. However, in the view that PH has given our commitment that we must rule this country and we shall govern with transparencies and with accountability. I think that it requires strong commitment to show that we hold to our promise, and that requires us to give a clearer explanation to the public.
One of those who had called out the move yesterday is PKR Vice President Nurul Izzah Anwar, who tweeted that the AGC should explain their actions. Today, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department Hanifah Maidin responded to this, saying that while it was a fair request, the Attorney General has no need or statutory duty to provide an explanation, citing Article 145 subsection 3 of the Federal Constitution. Nurul also said in a statement that the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission should be granted the power to prosecute, to which Hanifah disagreed. He explained that there might be a conflict of interest that could create problems as the job of the MACC is to investigate. And you know who else decided to speak up on the matter as Bungalow Gate hit the spotlight again? The Deputy Public Prosecutor on the case, Muhammad Hanafiah Zakaria. Today, he dismissed allegations that the decision to drop the case was politically motivated. He explained that the prosecution dropped the case after considering the available evidence and that the decision was not influenced by any quarters. He also explained in a statement that the AGC adopted the fresh eye technique on the case and that he had not worked on nor had he participated in the case until recently. Therefore, he was able to approach the matter with a fresh perspective. He maintains that his utmost priority is justice. Another news item from yesterday that sparked outrage was the caning of 2 women who pleaded guilty to attempting same-sex relations. They were each given 6 strokes of the cane in the Kuala Terengganu Sharia High Court in front of the public gallery of the courtroom. It is believed that this was the first time that Malaysian women have been punished for such an offence. Now, present in the courtroom was a doctor, which is typical in some cases of corporal punishment. However, what does the Health Minister have to say about having a doctor in the house?
Boleh jelaskan sikit tak polisi KKM berhubung dengan kehadiran pegawai perubatan semasa hukuman sebat di Terengganu semalam?
Minta maaf, saya tak boleh. Saya tidak.
Adakah YB bersetuju dengan hukuman untuk jatuhkan sebatan ini?
Soalan ini sangat
ada saya kalau misalnya keadaan doktor salah tu
dalam waktu yang terdekat, kalau saya perlu untuk keluarkan, tapi saya merhatikan semua itu.
Following the caning, the Malaysian Human Rights Commission or Suhakam has called for the abolition of corporal punishment in both civil and Sharia law. Their chairperson, Razali Ismail, lambasted the action as cruel, inhuman and degrading, calling the Terengganu Sharia Court deplorable for imposing such a punishment and conducting it publicly in front of the media. He then slammed the government of the day for not taking any tangible steps for change on how the United Nations Committee on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women or CEDAW had emphasized on how Muslim women in Malaysia were disadvantaged by the locally chosen interpretation of Sharia law. He also cautioned the government that undermining the nation's obligations to human rights as opposed to upholding them would not be in the best interest of progress and success. Malaysia's first multi-grains brand. The champion is Good Morning. Our final story for today is more of a topic. Let's talk about human rights. Now, I'm not going to go on anymore about the caning. There's already enough talk about that. I would like to talk about the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights, a document that has been sitting in the inbox of the Malaysian government for so long, it will probably disintegrate if you touch it. There it is, along with the Convention Against Torture and the International Convention on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination, among some other treaties that we have signed but never ratified into law. The UDHR was cited by the Suhakam chairperson as a framework that prohibits torture and other forms of cruel, inhumane or degrading punishment. Now, former Prime Minister Najib Razak did launch a national human rights plan in March of this year in line with his administration's National Transformation 2050 framework, but wind back the clock a few years and you'll remember that in 2015, Najib also said that universal human rights is not for Muslim Malaysia and, quote, it cannot defend the extreme aspects of human rights, citing LGBT rights as an example of this. So Pakatan Harapan is now at a crossroad. Will the government continue to uphold the previous administration's altered brand of human rights? Or will we see these frameworks for universal human rights that we signed eons ago ratified into Malaysian law at last? Let's talk about it in the comments or on Twitter. Hit like, follow, subscribe, and share this video. I'm Daniel Anthony. Thanks for watching.